them down so that they're...
Hello! So I don't know if you guys can hear me because the last video that I tried to do for the North Coast Redwood page, it didn't work at all. So this is Griff from Humboldt Redwood State Parks. And before I get too deep into anything, I'm just gonna, can you hear me? Yes or no? Because the last time I tried this, no one could hear me. So can you hear me? Yes or no? I see a thumbs up, but that doesn't mean you can hear me, right? I hear you, yay, yay, it's working. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I've had a lot of technological challenges since this whole COVID thing. Let me tell you, and it's really frustrating. I have different amounts of patience for different things. And when it comes to technology, I just don't have patience. My mom's watching this and she's like, you don't have more patience for a lot of things, actually. But that's beside the point. We're going to talk. Thank you, Sandra. We're going to talk about the Endangered Species Act real quickly, and then we're going to hear a Yurok story that relates to the attitude that we need to adopt in order to prevent things from continuing to go endangered. So the Endangered Species Act is awesome, okay? The Endangered Species, let me show you how beautiful it is here while I'm telling you this. The Endangered Species Act was passed in 1973, the federal one. California State Endangered Species Act passed in 1970, so California was ahead of the curve. But the Endangered Species Act is the most awesome law protecting the environment that exists in the world. Congratulations, America. We did that right. The Endangered Species Act is very successful. In fact, 99% of the things that get put on it get taken off of it. Okay, it's got a 99% success rate. What else do we have that has a 99% success rate? Right? Awesome. So we need to make sure the Endangered Species Act stays strong. So there's State Endangered Species Act and there's Federal Endangered Species Act. And you know, one of the things I always tell people is like, we don't want anything to go extinct. You want all your parts, especially now that we're getting into genetics and stuff like that. Like, who knows what we could use from some little bacteria or fungus. Or if you're religious and you believe in the Noah's Ark story, if it was good enough for Noah to put on the ark, it's good enough for us to save too. Okay? So the Endangered Species Act is a really good way, science-driven, to save species. And we have species in the park that were once on the Endangered Species Act and aren't anymore, like the bald eagle. Okay? And we also have some endangered species that are on the list, on the endangered species list, that aren't off it yet. And we have a lot more work to do. So this is a bird called the marbled murrelet, and a lot of us talk about this. We talk about the marbled murrelet because it's an endangered seabird. It's got a really interesting practice. So they hang out in pairs in the ocean. They don't dive very deep, but when they don't go into very deep water anyways, usually like 100 feet deep. But when they swim, they fly. Okay, so they're flying underwater. You should see a video of it. It's beautiful. It's otherworldly. But then it's not otherworldly. It's real worldly, because that's the real world. Murrelets flying underwater. And then at night, when they fall in love and they get married, they fly inland and choose a very big tree. And in this area, it's usually redwood trees, because they want to put their one little egg on a mossy branch hundreds of feet up in the air. And then they leave it all day, go hunting, and they come back at night and they feed their baby. And a month later, their baby jumps out of the tree. Can you imagine jumping out of a redwood tree, having never flown before? And then flying 15 miles all the way to the ocean? That's crazy. It's incredible. And then no one taught it where to go. No one taught it how to fly, because they don't have like practice sessions. And no one taught it how to fish. It has this genetic memory, aka instinct, that it can do all these wonderful things. How mysterious, how wonderful that we have that, and we want that to be here for future generations of humans to marvel over too. So we're going to learn a Yurok story from Skip Lowry, who is the interpreter at Patrick's Point State Park, that's going to help us understand the right attitude of compassion that endangered species need today.
Ayakui, neck now, Skip. Table meth and Newacha. Happy to see you. Happy to be here. Nasi Khan, a long time ago, before time was time, this world was being created for humans with purpose and intent. for humans to be in relationship with all of the spiritual beings that become physical and are exist in this world right now with us. But during this time, before humans, Yurok people were actually manifest in physical form, this world was getting set up. Everything was getting used to their new, this place. So there was this Chekeni Chuchis. Can you guys say Chekeni?
Chekeni
Chuchis?
Chuchis.
Wasak toy.
Wasak toy.
That's a little brown bird. And then there was this Popoline Keith. Popoline Keith. Can you say that? Popoline Keith. And that's the grand redwood tree. So they were getting used to this place and forming a relationship. Well, the birds had to migrate. This little brown bird hurt his wing and couldn't travel with his family this one winter. He said, "Go ahead, family, go ahead. I'll be all right. I'll find a place to stay. You come back, I'll be all right." So they were sad. They had to leave their little family member, this little bird, this little hurt bird, in the forest here. And they went south. They went to wherever their migration at that time during this creation, where they went. And this little bird, he had a good luck song. He sang it to himself, thinking, "I'm going to find a place to live and be all right this winter." So he went hopping down this trail and he was singing to himself, kind of uplifting. He was, "Hey, hey, 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 hey." And he went along and he asked the oak tree. And oak tree said, "No, I'm too busy. Go on, the little hurt bird." He asked the dogwood tree, and the dogwood tree said, "I'm too pretty. Look at all my beautiful flowers. No, go on. You'll make me look broken too." And he kept singing a song. "Hey, hey, 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 hey." Asked alder tree all up and down the Klamath River. Heshkikwaroy, they call it in our language. Can you say Heshkikwaroy?
Heshkikwaroy.
So all of these different bushes and trees said no to this little bird, and he started to get discouraged. So he was walking with his head down, and his song kind of turned sad. Hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, 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 hey. The Popoline Keith Kampmoya heard him, and he said, "Boy, that sounds kind of sad. I wonder if I can help." Started thinking he wanted to help immediately. And that little bird walked into his view, and the bird was looking down, and he ran right into this huge tree, the biggest tree he'd ever seen. And he needed help, but he was so small and hurt, he was kind of scared, and no one else had helped him. Even smaller trees didn't help him. But he mustered up enough courage, which is a lesson in life. When you need help, don't be afraid to ask. So this little bird, "Keith, I need help. My family's gone. I got a hurt wing. Will you help me?" Tallest tree in the world, humbled himself, bent down, got that little bird on his branch, stood back up. That little bird hopped up, gave a little one-wing hug, and to this day, the redwood tree and that little bird have an intimate relationship. And that bird's renamed now to the marbled murrelet. So when all the family came back, this little bird was healed, and they said, "Hey, look, I'm here," and they were happy he made it through the winter. And creation was like, Yurok people are going to need something with a strong heart. They're going to need protection and help. So the redwood tree to this day is considered the heart of the people. And we would protect the redwood tree as like a part of our family and honor it. We would never cut redwood trees down. Even if we needed to make a canoe or house, we'd always wait for the wind to knock down our redwood trees. And so that marbled marlet's family doesn't have to migrate anymore. They still use the redwood trees and all the tall trees for nesting and roosting and having their offspring. And thank you.
Very nice. So there's so much more to that story than murrelets and all the other stuff. It's just, that was a beautiful story and just how to treat people. You know, that's just a wonderful, like, being given. And right now with the whole pandemic we got going on, it's a good time, like, we can apply that story not just to the endangered species and the murrelet, but also to like, you know, like I wear a mask all the time when I go into town. It's not so much, for me, because I'm in the age group where I might recover. I don't have any conditions, but I'm doing this for my neighbors, for the people who I work with, for my elder family members. And so I'm trying to be like the redwood tree in that story. So the Endangered Species Act is another way that we have been compassionate. And here in the state park system, we have marbled murrelets, and they are nesting in our old growth trees. And so we encourage you guys to do what you can to help endangered species. And one way you can help the marbled murrelet is by going to Save the Redwoods site. Okay, and I think it's savetheredwoods.org. And go to Redwood Rising. And it's where they're helping them, state parks and tribes and national parks are all kind of working together to take these second growth already cut forests and turn them into old growth forests, so that there'll be these big tall trees for the wounded birds, for the wounded people, for the marbled murrelet, for endangered species, and then we could help bring all these things up. We can lift all these things up. So Redwood Rising by Save the Redwood League, check it out. That's a really good cause to donate to. Also, Humboldt Redwood Interpretive Association helps us have the equipment to bring you guys these stories and these talks. So thank you. You can support them. They have a Facebook page. I think they're HumboldtRedwoods.org, and you can donate to them too. So a lot of people are saying thank you for the story. So
Any questions on it?
yeah, so Skip, why don't you also just tell them where they can find you once the parks reopen?
I'm at Patrick's Point State Park in the North Coast Redwood District. It has an original name called Sumeg. That's the Yurok word for the village, the place, the area. Sumeg means always has been, always will be, always is. And so it's a very special place. It's a memorial part of my ancestry and descendancy here on the North Coast. You can find me next Sunday. I'm going to be starting my own Facebook Lives. I'm working with this great interpreter here, Griff, and I'll be down here one more Sunday, and we're going to try and get me lined up so that I can do a couple of my own soon. And I'm at the park, in the park, whenever, it's really sad to me that the people can't come to the park. So why I'm doing this, because I'm passionate about hoping to inspire people to love the park and love the outdoors and come help take care of it and engage it. And they can't right now. So I'm doing this to try to bring as much of that inspiration and encouragement to you guys wherever you're at. And so we appreciate your guys' patience, and I look forward to seeing you guys come to Patrick's Point. There's a replica Yurok village that I do live interpretations of. And so the general public can walk through it and see it. You can go in houses, and there's 3 Yurok descendant interpreters there. First time in the history of that park specifically that we have our indigenous perspectives being interpreted by ourselves.
Beautiful.
So it's historic time and place to come visit when you can.
Awesome. So thank you very, very much, Skip. And that was a beautiful story. And so if we came and visited you at Patrick's Point, would you both, right, Sumeg, would you be telling more stories? Yes.
I try to tell at least one story in every interpretation. Because our stories don't just, this story I just told is actually an hour long. And I shortened it up because there's lessons in all of the plants that told the little bird no. Teaches Yurok people, when we finally got to this land, there's lessons in all of these trees that tell us how we need to be helpful for people in need, for the smallest ones, even if we're the grandest ones, even if we're the prettiest ones, even if we're already busy. There's time and a necessity to help and be in relationship with each other in a healthy way. And so, yes, I sing songs and I tell stories and I answer questions as often as I possibly can in my interpretations.
Beautiful. And I look forward to that too. I'm going to go see them too. Awesome. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us, and happy Endangered Species Week. Friday was Endangered Species Day. And so now this is Endangered Species Week, and we totally appreciate everything you've done for us. And we are going to say happy weekend to you. Like and whoa, what did it sing? Oh, whoa, it's tripping out. Like and share this with your friends that will enjoy that story, and support the Endangered Species Act. Tell your representatives that you love the Endangered Species Act and you want it to stay intact the way it is right now. Thank you. Bye.